189 kilometres, setting out from Aigeronde and slowly ramping up as it goes. 2 fourth category climbs early on, with the day's intermediate sprints sandwiched between them, but all the interest really where it should be, towards the end of the day. There's the Col de la Croix-Saint-Robert at just over 1,450 metres, and then the final climb up over 1,200 metres to Super Besse Sancy. Now, one more big-name casualty to add to Bradley Wiggins overnight. Chris Horner actually didn't realise he'd finished yesterday's stage, rolling in with concussion, so just as well that he's not being allowed to start today's. 189 men then at the start this morning.
Today's finish promises to be absolutely spectacular, and it's not just because of this, the fabled final climb at Super Besse. No, the action is going to start 20 kilometres from here. It's rolling roads up and down, very, very narrow and twisty, and it's wet as well, so it's going to be quite treacherous for the riders. Strong possibility of a breakaway today, I think, but even if there is a break, the main contenders are going to want to play as well. It's very difficult to work out exactly who's going to take part in the final today. I mean, although we can say that the sprinters aren't going to be here at the finish, there's so many people that could perform on a power climb like this. But for the GC contenders, well, Alberto Contador desperately needs to get some time back before they hit the big mountains. Likewise, Cadel Evans, this is a brilliant finish for him, and he really needs more of a buffer before they get into the really big hills.
Vinokourov now is pretty solidly in the yellow jersey if we were to stop the race as it is presently.
Well, Vinokourov has podiumed in the Tour de France, so you must consider this man as a potential favourite and not just pulling on the yellow jersey for one day. He's in the yellow position. He's got to cross the line 32 seconds in front of the yellow jersey bunch if he's going to be in yellow tonight, and he's just got one man in front of him. Even if he doesn't win the day, the clock will start on him for yellow. There you can see the road right ahead of him now, and it's the empty road up to the line today at Super Besse where we are sat. It's not raining very heavily where we are. It's raining quite heavily though where Alexander Vinokourov is. There's the lone leader from Portugal, Rui Costa, the Movistar team. The team that's had so much serious ill luck this year, with a serious injury to Mauricio Soler, the Colombian on the squad, who crashed in the Tour of Switzerland, and the sad death of Xavier Tondo when he died when a garage door fell on his head before he went training. Unbelievable. Well, Rui Costa now keeps looking over his shoulder. He's trying to judge the amount of effort that he has to put in to stay in front of this race. They're no longer giving it, so yes they are. 65 seconds is the spread across the field, so at the moment there's no doubt that Alexander Vinokourov has a yellow jersey waiting for him at the finishing line, but will he win the day as well? Well, Phil, by my quick calculation as well, TJ Van Garderen, although he's been left behind by Alexander Vinokourov, should be getting onto the podium today because he will have the most points, I think, in the King of the Mountains classification. And what a triumph that would be for the youngster from Montana. Well, it's all looking very, very good now for Rui Costa. I really thought that TJ had the master of this man on the previous climb, but it looks as though he saved the best till the last. He's 25 years of age, Costa, and there's the spread, and there's the crowd here now. Vinokourov trying to close that gap as they race man to man up towards the summit. The pace is being picked up here as well, and I've seen Contador. He's about 4 rides obscured at the moment, but he is also trying to get things whipped up in that chase behind. Well, as we come up 1 kilometre to go, now can Alexander Vinokourov close that gap, as Rui Costa has been in the lead for 185 kilometres at the moment. But you know, I know the camera shortens it on the climb, but you know, Thor Hushovd could save his yellow jersey today. There is the pack, and they've really lifted the tempo now. Oh, what an unbelievable story, what an unbelievable battle here. Rui Costa just going under the Flamme Rouge, the red kite, 1,000 metres to go to the finish. Alexander Vinokourov is in the red zone, completely trying to find something special to try and nail down that last little gap, but also to try and conserve 31 seconds ahead of the main field and ahead of Cadel Evans. I think Contador has got himself away from the front of the peloton here, so they're all going to react to this now. It's not Contador on the left of the road, it's one of his teammates who's tried to make a move.
That's Chris Anker Sorensen, the nodding style, and he's trying to set something up for Alberto Contador. Contador is there on the left-hand side, right on the wheel of Philippe Gilbert, and locked on his wheel is Andy Schleck, and locked in the main field is the yellow jersey, Thor Hushovd.
Well, Thor Hushovd is sat there, and they're slowly but surely hauling back Alexander Vinokourov. This race will remain split by seconds tonight as Philippe Gilbert tries to get something going. Contador has got into his slipstream. Andy Schleck will not allow Contador a bike length. He's right with him, along with Cadel Evans. You could be looking at the podium in the Tour de France in a week and a half right there.
Philippe Gilbert, Phil, is looking to get rid of all of the sprinters and try and get himself a few more points in the green jersey points classification. He's got Tony Martin now up alongside him, like Alberto Contador. Is he going to think of having a little move? Look how attentive Andy Schleck is as Alberto Contador accelerates, and you can see Cadel Evans is right there too.
This is the tester now. The top three names of previous tours are riding right in the shadow of the three-times champion. He's checked them both out. Also moving right up behind him is Jürgen van den Broek, and Gilbert says, I can do it just as well as you can, and Philippe Gilbert jumps clear now, grits his teeth. I don't think he can reach the leaders. It is just a little hill too far for him, but there is the acceleration of the champion of Belgium.
Well, it's a little bit like the finish at the top of the Kouwberg in the Amstel Gold Race, which he won in the month of April. Alberto Contador goes again, and Andy Schleck right on his wheel, followed by Cadel Evans. Tony Martin will see that line of riders and accelerates onto the back of it. And watch out, Phil, for Frank Schleck, because he's looking very comfortable about 5th or 6th position. Damiano Cunego.
Cunego has launched his attack now. The boys have tamed Contador, and they're not going to attack him, but everybody else is having digs now. Another acceleration has gone. Could have been Tony Martin who's gone. Cadel has now gone, and look at Contador's got to react to that. I'm not sure Contador's as sharp as he appears here. He's having to work very hard. Andy Schleck is happy to just follow.
It's all pretty psychological for the moment, Phil, as Rui Costa now is inside of the last 350 metres. I'm looking down through the haze of the exhausts of the motorbikes there to see whether or not he's going to survive. He's done it.
It's all over. He punches the sky. The Portuguese rider gets the victory today. They don't get many in the Tour de France. Rui Costa has done it, but the clock will start, and Gilbert has gone up for second place here, with the sprint very much on for third place, and Cadel Evans has still got the fight to get over the line in third place. Now, there won't be a time gap, and there won't be a change in the overall lead either, because Thor Hushovd, this incredible man, is still in yellow, and he's smiling. Gosh, I don't blame him.
All right, let's deal with the stage result first. Rui Costa finishing alone, 12 seconds ahead of Philippe Gilbert, who'd attacked off the chasing group. He had 3 seconds on Cadel Evans, but Evans couldn't quite open the gap that would have given him the 1 second he needed to take the yellow jersey. Behind Evans, it was Samuel Sanchez, Peter Velits, Dries Devenijns, Damiano Cunego and Alberto Contador. Andy Schleck was right behind Contador, where he'd been for the whole of the final climb. His brother was behind him. And in 16th place, on the same time as Evans, was Thor Hushovd. Mark Cavendish and most of the other sprinters finished in a huge autobus, 1 second shy of 20 minutes down on the time of the winner. And as Bradley Wiggins said today, if you think he and Sky have it tough, then a quick look at Rui Costa's Movistar team puts things into perspective. Losing their leader Xavier Tondo, who died in a freak accident this year, and then their climber Mauricio Soler, who's just recently out of a coma after a terrible crash. Philippe Gilbert's fighting second place was enough to put him back ahead on points in the fight for the green jersey. He has a 15-point lead over Jose Joaquin Rojas, with Mark Cavendish 34 points down in third.